warning them that naay itumba si Kong Teves nga usa ka kapitan o political ally sa mga Degamo. Dapat extra careful na mo. Translation, may itutumba si Kong Teves na isas na kapitan at political ally. Bongbong, Kent Bongbong de Villagracia is former Pamplona Vice Mayor and several times councilor. Before I became mayor, Bongbong, myself, the wife of Colonel Tolentino, and Michelle Aguilar are classmates in the elementary school in the municipality of Pamplona. Bongbong was shot dead in front of their home. Days before he was killed, several incidents of harassment and intimidation transpired. Armed men of Kong Teves would go to the contested piece of land. There were times where Kong Teves himself would visit the area with armed men. Two barangay captains narrated, this is supported with an affidavit, that a week before Bongbong's death, Pamplona PNP Chief of Police Tammy Tan called, warning them that naay itumba si Kong Teves nga usa ka kapitan o political ally sa mga Degamo. Dapat extra careful na mo. Translation, may itutumba si Kong Teves na isas na kapitan at political ally. Next slide, please. On September 7, 2020, in the monthly session for the Liga ng mga Barangay that is also recorded, Pamplona PNP Chief of Police Tammy Tan warned them again na ay itumba si Kong Teves nga usa ka kapitan o political ally sa mga Degamo. Dapat extra careful jud mo. Next slide. The PNP knew because it was the Chief of Police who informed through intelligence report and told many about the plot, and Bongbong told many about the plot to assassinate him. Next slide, please. In the morning of August 28, 2020, Bongbong told many about how he confronted the gasoline manager, Mr. Jimboy Cadilinia, who accompanied the armed men of Kong Teves to the contested land. Next slide. Cadilinia is the manager of the gasoline station owned by former Pamplona councilor and defeated vice mayoralty candidate Maria Victoria Luz Montesa Tolentino, and was taking pictures of everyone present during the DENR survey and verification as to its ownership. Mr. De Villagracia, in a conversation with Jimboy, he knew Jimboy because whenever the wife of Colonel Tolentino is in Pamplona, she most of the time would stay at Bongbong's house, being a newbie in the field of politics. It was Bongbong who would take LV everywhere she goes and introduce her to members of the team of Governor Degamo. So the conversation, if translated, would be this way: why are you with them? Referring to Kong Arnie's goons, and Jimboy would say back, "I was sent here by my boss, whoever that boss is." Next slide, please. Mr. Tomasino Aledro, representing Kong Teves, together with armed men, went to the Pamplona police station to request the SWAT to accompany them to the contested land to fence the land in spite of DENR pronouncement not to touch the land pending final resolution from the said office. That is the police blatter. Okay. Lugos ko kita. Pwede ba? I can barely see. But that on that time and date, 10 a.m., September 8, 2020, that's it, before the day that Bongbong was murdered, that on this time and date, staff personnel from Congressman Arnie Teves, Juan Tomasino Aledro and company, came to this office and requested for police assistance regarding the conflict land situated in Sitio 9, Barangay San Isidro, this municipality. However, upon verification made by the office to the office of Penro Dumaguete City, a person of Mr. Nestor Canda, it turned out that the requested document is not prepared yet and waiting for the said conflict to be resolved as per advice by the Penro. Ibig sabihin, Penro is not going to the area on which Tukoy Aledro is requesting for police assistance. Next slide, please. In an earlier blatter, that is 8:30 a.m. 2020 of September 8, that on this time and date requested forces from PMFC led by PCMS Librando Celis arrive at this office as an additional forces to provide security on the conflict land situated at Sitio 9, Barangay San Isidro, Pamplona, Negros Oriental. I think they were not able to proceed on that day because the other party informed them that it has to be Penro who will make the request and not and the request should not come from two conflicting sides. Next slide, please. Major players of the organized crime in Negros Oriental, wherein it's a known fact that Tomasino Tukoy Aledro and Arnulfo Teves, as well as Pride Henry Teves, on which they deny knowing one another, can be seen that in one plate, how do you call this? Kaning nameplates, no, of the Negros International Golf and Country Club, you can see the relationship between Arnulfo Teves, Tomasino Aledro, and Henry Pride being actually, you can see there na magkakilala pala talaga sila. Next slide. Okay, this is the contract of Tomasino Tukoy Aledro as Project Development Officer of the provincial government of Dumaguete City when Henry Pride was sitting as governor. Police Colonel Crisaleo Tolentino is known as the providers of private armed groups, guns for hires, and have access of the PNP power and connection of Tukoy and Teves. Former Pamplona councilor and defeated vice mayoralty candidate Maria Victoria Montesa Tolentino is the wife of Colonel Crisaleo Tolentino. Councilor Tolentino bolted from the camp of Governor and Mayor Degamo and transferred political party to side with Kong Teves because it was known to many that she had the political ambition to go against Bongbong as vice mayor. Ito po ang totoong nangyari. Si Bongbong is honed to be my vice mayor the coming election. The wife of Colonel Tolentino was encouraging us, pwede ba tayong mag-conduct ng survey para makita natin kung sino talaga ang malakas? I told LV Tolentino, because she is a classmate, that Day, Bongbong did not run for councilor to accommodate you. Kay puro magkaklase kami lahat. Bongbong sacrificed the opportunity to become councilor at that time with the hope that we will be true to our words, that he will be our vice mayor candidate come election time. Yan yung totoong reason na umalis si Tolentino. She wishes to become vice mayor under my political party, but there was an old arrangement already that because Bongbong sacrificed, he did not run for councilor, but will wait the next election so that he can become vice mayor and LV can be accommodated in the team. Yun yung totoong reason na umalis siya sa partido. Police Colonel Tolentino and former Councilor Tolentino are linked to both incidents, Bongbong de Vinagracia's death and abduction of Pems Riuel Pinheiro. Next slide, please. There was the incident in Katiklan led us to get hold of a tactical report that says, yung last part nito, okay, Wino-work out ni Kong Teves na maalis ang detailed army personnel na nakasecurity kay Gov. Degamo para madali ang pag-liquidate sa subject, Gov. And his wife. Next slide, please. The one you saw there are 3 affidavits signed by people with whom Bongbong de Vinagracia was working closely. Hindi lang yan 3 kung hindi patakot malibel ang iba. So there are 3 who have prepared affidavits already so that they could file the necessary case in court. These are lines being said, but I pray papatay man kong Tolentino, meaning Tolentino will have me killed. Next slide. Kaya doon nangyari talaga when the governor's security were removed from him following COVID. At during the COVID incident, habang ang ibang mga workers of government are assigned to their respective residences, all of a sudden, Pems Pinheiro will be brought to Krame. And ang nakakapagtaka, when Pinheiro was about to be brought to Krame, escorted siya ng members of the PNP. My father is a police officer and was wondering why is Pinheiro relieved and at the same time assisted by a PNP officer pag na-relieve sila. Hindi naman yun ang usual na ginagawa ng police. Pag na-relieve ka on your own, you go to your assigned place where you will report for work. Pero ang daming nangyari. But focusing on Bongbong's, what happened to Bongbong first, bago natin pag-usapan the rest of the things, yun po yung side na hindi sinasabi ni Colonel Leo Tolentino. Hindi lang po ako with whom Bongbong personally told incidents prior to the time he was killed. Meron pa pong iba. Yung mga nagkarga ng bigas na kasama ni Bongbong pag nasa field sila, but they are all afraid kasi nga ayaw malibel. But there are 2 who said, kawawa naman kung walang mag-testify. Totoo namang sinabi ni Bongbong sa kanila, including the wife of Bongbong and Ernest de Vinagracia. So we will continue with the rest. Ano muna natin? Sinasabi ko lang muna yung side so that you can see what Tolentino have said and yung side naman namin.